Good morning, good morning, good morning. So it is literally 3 o'clock in the morning, and this is when I get my divine inspiration. So I entitled this particular stream, How to Start a Movement. And the reason I'm calling it that is because we all know that the National Black MBA Association was founded 52 years ago. And if you didn't know that, consider this a point of information. So I'm headed to the national conference today, Sunday. My flight literally leaves tonight. And what I love about this is I got some of my favorite people, Miss Catherine LeBlanc and Bernard Walker. Bernard Walker was the founding president of the Seattle chapter of the National Black MBA Association. And Miss Catherine LeBlanc is actually one of our legacy leaders for the Black MBA. Hold, please. She's the author of this book. It's called The National Black MBA Association, Celebrating a Legacy, Empowering the Future. So we'll go through this a lot more detail during another session. I just wanted to provide one of the resources that really has gotten me excited here today. This was something that I got from our most recent conference. But if you look at the first cover, it says celebrating a legacy and empowering the future. That's what my purpose is, and that's actually what we're going to be doing, not only at the National Black MBA Association, but following the Black MBA Association. So again, this is just an overview, and the reason I'm calling it a divine moment is because, there were these people. These are two of the individuals that have agreed to help me take a lot of information and simplify it to tell our story. So this is one of the books that I told them, oh my God, I found one of my books, and I put a bunch of things in here. So let me just tell you, I call this the How to Start a Movement because I want all of the information to be provided free to college students, to professionals, to senior executives, to those who are retired and like, look, this is what I want to do. So I don't want anyone to question like how to get there. So we're going to literally lay out breadcrumbs, specific roadmaps. We're going to provide the passion and the details. So here's some of the resources I'm providing in case anyone's interested. So the thing I wanted to share is that's a book that I just shared that they created. This is a Harvard Business Review special edition. It is from the spring of 2020. And you guys know what was happening in the spring of 2020, right? The racial revolution that was happening in this country. This is one of the articles. It says how to lead with purpose, right? It includes advice on building your mission, guiding your team, and creating greater social value. What I love about it, if you look at the very bottom, it says a playbook for turning ambition into impact. Hold please as I go to this page. We're calling this divine intervention. So in this particular article, it says, anyway, let me just stay on this page. I'm going to try to keep it simple. So this particular, I don't remember where it began, but I'll just get right here where it talks about purpose statements, right? They're all about going from bad to good. This is where we are, and we're going to do all this wonderful stuff. We got a lot of companies making these grand declarations about what they were going to do to go from good to bad, right? And so if you think about, I love the statement at the top. It says, your leadership purpose is why you are and what makes you distinctive. Your brand, what you're driven to achieve, the magic that makes you tick. This is why I tick. This is what I was meant to do. So then I love this. It says purpose. This is how to move from purpose to impact planning. And then they contrast that with traditional development planning. So as I was talking to my cohorts, my colleagues, my co-conspirators about this mission, this vision, this project, I really could not clearly articulate what we were doing until this very moment. We're basically turning my purpose, our stated purpose as an organization to impact planning. We've done some think tanks. This is like, how do you do a thing with a level of clarity? So I love this. So check this out. They're saying purpose to impact planning. Let me just zoom in a little bit. It's dark. I didn't even feel like turning the light on because I haven't even packed yet, y'all. I was packing my backpack and I decided I'm taking all these books. So then I'm going to tell you what all the books are. So if any of them spark your interest, you can get them because over the next 2 weeks, we're going to give you very clear roadmap map around how we can truly drive change in this country. So let me zoom in. It says uh, when you move from purpose to impact planning, it uses meaningful. I should have turned the light on. It's okay. Let me just zoom in if I can. It uses meaningful, purpose infused language. That's what Miss Catherine is going to help us do because I can have a vision, but I don't always make it as clear. It's like maybe too complex. She's going to help us be simple. When you move from purpose to impact planning, hold please, it's focused on the strengths to realize. I can't read that, sorry. Oh, your career aspirations. It's focusing on the strengths. So I'm also someone who's worked in the National Black MBA as a leader. I've done a lot of work for free. I've even used my ministry, It's All Bigger Than Being Ministry, to fund the National Black MBA. Don't even get me started, but it was divinely inspired. So, one of the strengths I have is taking a lot of information and synthesizing it, like connecting those dots and turning it into the thing. So that's what I'm doing, what I'm going to do here with these books over the next 2 weeks. I'm so excited. So stay with me. We're also going to, let me just see, it says elicits a statement of leadership purpose that explains how you will lead. Y'all, I am so excited. So one of my many certifications and my most recent passion and what perfectly stitches all this together is called Positive Intelligence. Let me see if I can reach that book because I'm surrounded by books right now. I don't think it's somewhere here. But anyway, the book is called Positive Intelligence. That's the how. That's part of the how. That we're gonna. It's core to the how. So it's like the foundation that I'll be bringing free to the universe. So if you think Crazy Tracy, again, I'll turn the lights on. We'll do this again later on. But I just, at 3 o'clock, this is when the divine inspiration happens. So it elicits a statement of leadership purpose that explains how. So we're gonna do it through something called positive intelligence. I'm not going to get distracted. I'm going to keep moving, and I'll tell you more about that later. And it says it sets, hold please, incremental goals related to living your leadership purpose. I set incremental goals with the Positive Intelligence B2B team just earlier, and I guess it was Friday. And I told them exactly what we were going to do. So let me share with you our incremental goals since it's like perfectly timed. We have the National Black MBA Conference is happening September 10th, 11th, really through the 16th. And then we're going to go to the Congressional Black Caucus and continue this work and elicit even more excitement from other people. When you talk about change, we got to do the work, right? And so, the positive intelligence work will begin the first Saturday in October. So we're going to do on September. So August 28th, we had celebrated. Let me just close this up so it doesn't look too weird. So on August 28th, we had celebrated. We, the community, had celebrated the 60th anniversary of MLK's March on Washington, and that was on 8/28. So on 9/28, we're doing a call to action, a national call to action to say, hey, come one, come all, right? To activate in a way that we haven't in the past. All I can do is truly be very intentional about those companies in my backyard. So I'm activating the Washington Employers for Racial Equity. It's 80 to 100 of the top companies right here in Washington State, a state who identified basically that racism is a public health crisis. An organization, WEIR, who identified all the right things. They did a disparity study, another disparity study, and they declared what they were going to do. And they committed $2 billion over 5 years. Well, guess what, y'all? They reached out to me in that first year and said, oh my God, we love what you're doing with Black MBA, with the National Black MBA. We think this is a untapped resource in the community. They were right. It was Philip, what is his last name? It's the author of, I have his book too. I'm taking it with me. There it is. It was Philip. No, yeah, this is it. The author of this book, it's called Elephant in the Room. What is his name? Philip Sharp Skills Jacobs. There you go. Philip Sharp Skills Jacob. And it's called The Elephant in the Room. And guess what the elephant in the room is? Do 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 do. Oh, please. It's a term that I actually don't even use a lot. I don't really use the term racism. I just talk about injustices or inequities. But the truth is that, there's truth to that, obviously. So this is a business parable about race and equity conversations in the workplace. There's some really good elements in this. His mom, Bishop Gwendolyn Coates, actually read some excerpts in the recent panel that I hosted celebrating MLK's 60th anniversary. So we're going to come back to this. I just wanted to say, so this is the book you should get over in the next week. So as we're talking about next steps, you'll be ready. Okay. So I'm going to go back to this article. I had to close this magazine because I didn't want to get distracted. I just want to take you on a journey, right? So stay with me here. So this is about how to lead with purpose. It's also a playbook for turning these aspirations or these ambitions into impact. How many of you have wanted to do something and you haven't done it? You haven't really clearly done it. Well, guess what? God has given me laid out all the paths for me to do it. So here we go. I'm moving from purpose to impact planning. So that's what we're going to be doing over the next 2 weeks. I think I was reading this one down here, which was, so this one was sets incremental goals. And I was talking about my goals. So we're going to have the timeline is now. The time is now. I'm going to the conference for the first week in September. During that time, I'll be talking to people, doing interviews, videos, all kind of great stuff. And then the week after that, the Congressional Black Caucus. And then on 9/28, we celebrated 8/28, MLK's March on Washington, which was also the day Emmett Till was murdered. And then on 9/28, a month later, we're doing the call to action. Anybody who's interested, who's been talking the talk and ready to walk the walk, let's go. So that's my timeline. And then we're going to start a cohort the first Saturday in October, a positive intelligence cohort of just the early adopters, people that are ready to go and tired of talking and ready to be about change. We're inviting you to be a part of this. And this isn't just one person. This is about organizations who are ready to truly drive change. So bear with me, y'all. This is 3 a.m. So I'm just, putting it out there into the universe. So again, I may not make it to the mountaintop like that's why I'm talking fast. Let me slow down. It's a PQ moment. I can slow down. There's no rush. It's just me. Although I do need to pack and I do need to do a load of laundry. So, but I didn't want to not do this. I did, and I'm doing it live, so I can't undo it. Okay. So this is how to start a movement. You give people what they need. Hello. So if you've had some thoughts, here's what you need to do too. Okay. So let me go back down here. Timeline. I have a very clear timeline. So in October, we're going to launch a cohort. The first cohort. If you want to be a part of that, email me at tracy@itsallbiggerthanme.com. It's all bigger than THANME.com. Tracy, TRACI. So you can email me if you want to be a part of that cohort. There will be an application process because it ain't for everybody. You got to be ready, right? Like this is a mountaintop experience, and I'm a Sherpa. And I can tell you, I got to talk to Fred Jordan, who was one of the managers who was part of my journey, and I'm so proud, at Microsoft, who told me he introduced the term Sherpa. And when someone says, I want to be your Sherpa, your guide on this journey, it's powerful, it's meaningful, and it's absolutely beautiful. So Fred Jordan, here's to you. More to come. So I'm going to be a Sherpa on this journey, this mountaintop experience where we've talked about change. Now we're going to be about change. And I have a very clear plan on what that looks like. And this isn't for every company, because some companies said to me at the time, we ain't ready. Sorry, but I am. That was actually what Microsoft said. And lovingly, thank you for saying that. It didn't, you don't get to waste your time. They had a new leader over diversity and inclusion. What was her name? I don't even remember. I choose not to even say. I'll give her a chance to speak for herself another time. But she said to me when I was leaving Microsoft, this is all great stuff, but we're not ready. We're going back to the basics. Now, that concept, I have to just say, let me go back to how I'm leading with purpose. That concept at the time, I hear you, sister, is all I could say. I hear you, sister, but this was literally, I came up with a term that was called corporate chokeholds, which was really that experience. This is pre-George Floyd. George Floyd had not been choked out on national television. This was Tracy Harrell being choked out in the corporate space. My brilliance was being choked out on a daily basis. And honestly, the sad part is there was no solution. There was no like protocol. There was no methodology. I had some information and some insights, but I did not have the steps that can be taken to really end the torture, to end the corporate chokeholds, to really stop what was happening. And I was so glad. I knew it was happening to me, and God said it's bigger than you. That's why my company is called It's All Bigger Than Me. I started a ministry when I left Microsoft because God was making it clear the entire time, it's all bigger than you. So my company, my for-profit company, it's called It's All Bigger Than Me Consulting, but my ministry, why I was put on this earth, my purpose is really to help create that truly inclusive culture where everyone truly can thrive, but really to also lovingly take our white leaders on a journey, white, black, whoever they may be. Mine happened to be individuals who had a heart to serve but didn't know how. They did not have a roadmap. No one will ever be able to say that again. No one will ever be able to say, I didn't know how, I didn't know what to do. It wasn't clear. That's what I'm doing over the next 2 weeks. Yeah, actually, that's what I'm doing right now. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to page 90, which is this playbook. And again, I'm going back here. This is what we're doing right now. That's why at 3 a.m., no one's gonna be able to say, I didn't know how to do it. Get the book Positive Intelligence, and that's how, just to be clear, right? Get the book Positive Intelligence. Okay, so now we're moving from purpose to impact planning. Stay with me. And yes, I haven't packed yet, so I'm talking fast. Okay. It says you're going to set incremental goals. And I could get up and turn the light on, but I got literally like 40 books surrounding me, and I'm just going to keep moving. We'll come back to this later. But we'll fill in the gap on what this looks like in clarity. I have a great production team. So sets incremental goals related to having your leadership purpose or living. Sorry. Sets incremental goals related to living your leadership purpose. So did I finish the things? I got distracted. Okay. Did I mention I had a stroke on Christmas Day? Okay. So I'm gonna stay focused. So sorry, I'm not gonna stay focused. I'm gonna continue. So I was talking about the dates. So 8/28 was the 60th anniversary of MLK's March on Washington, and I closed the book because I don't want you to be looking at a page that you can't read as I'm talking. So back to the timeline. 8/28 was the 60th anniversary of MLK's March on Washington. He was obviously leading with purpose. So am I, and so am I is leaving you with instructions on how you too can lead with purpose. So August 28th, MLK's March on Washington, the day Emmett Till was also murdered. 8/28 this year, 60 years later, we led a series of 4 days of the Dream Unfinished. Not a commemoration, but a continuation. But what we said is, hey, we've been doing this for the last 10 years intentionally. And actually 7 years to be exact. 2017, the National Black MBA hosted a national conference, hosted a think tank. Hold, please. There's a document I have. Anyway, I can't go to it, but just I'll come back to it later. A think tank, and that sparked my interest and my passion to say, if not me, then who? And if not now, then when? That was 2017. So I was already on it. God was telling me to go do it, girl. But I loved having my check show up every week. So I wasn't ready to become an entrepreneur. I still wasn't ready when I became an entrepreneur, but God was like, I got a plan for you. So back to the timeline. So 8/28 was the kickoff of an MLK Dream Unfinished. 9/28 is the kickoff of Committed to Continuing the Dream. That's our activation. That's our call to action. Committed to continuing the dream. Then in early October, we're going to be launching the Positive Intelligence. It's going to be a cohort of leaders, right? The early adopters who are ready to activate, who past ready to activate, who are ready to do some amazing things. That'll be October 6 to 7, 8 weeks. And so if we start the first week of October, we'll be done by November. And then in November, how you lead with purpose, how you create a roadmap, a playbook. We're going to actually be providing clarity from November and December, the gift that I'm going to be asking each person to give to themselves, to their family, to their companies, to their team. Is going to be this gift of positive intelligence. It's going to be this gift of change. It's going to be the gift of how to lead and lean into your purpose. That's going to be our gift. So for November through December is gifting, it's sharing, it's clarity about what we're doing and why. Then in January, we're going to be kind of repackaging, summarizing that new start. People are typically ready by then to get going, but we're going to be clear on expectations. So October, November, and December, after this 9/28 kickoff, October is going to be a month that I call awareness. November is going to be the month of action, clarifying our actions, and December is going to be the month of accountability. So the three words are awareness, action, and accountability. So 8/28 was the dream unfinished. 9/28 is the committed to continue the dream. 10, 11, and 12 are going to be awareness, action, and accountability. October, November, and December, awareness, action, and accountability. That's what we're doing. January, packaging, being clear on what the expectations are. In February, the first Saturday in February, we're kicking off literally a life-changing movement. And it's for everyone. It's not for Black people. It's for anyone who wants to live their best life. It's for anyone who wants to thrive. That's what positive intelligence is about. It's about finding your purpose and living it out and giving you the skills to use it, to do it, right? To do it through four things. Through positive intelligence. Sorry. Positive intelligence is built on four things: the neuroscience of the brain, performance science, cognitive behavioral psychology, and positive psychology. I used to say things that my initiative, which I called when I was at Microsoft, I called it the Adaptive Leadership Equity and Inclusion Initiative, right? Which is really the it's the same stuff, just different name. So adaptive leadership is about systems. And I used to say that my books were my work was based on four things. I would say positive psychology, and then I would say, I'm just pulling out a book that I'm taking with me, self-directed learning. And this is a book by the founders of this concept of self-directed learning. It's Ralph Bucket and Roger I can't even read that word, but you can see. Anyway, so that's self-directed learning. So it was positive psychology, adaptive leadership. Where's my adaptive leadership book? I think it's over here. Where's the adaptive leadership book? So I'm taking one of those with me. It's almost like you're traveling with a bunch of books. I am. Yep, I surely am. I have to. So this is the other book that I love. It's called The Practice of Adaptive Leadership: Tools and Tactics for Changing Your Organization and the World. Do you love that? Like, I read this, I don't know how long ago, another Harvard Business Review book. But I love it. So that's the other piece. So adaptive leadership, this self-directed learning, positive psychology, which I don't have that, but oh, I do. This is one of the first books that I read. You think about positive psychology. Leo Buscaglia, y'all, his book is called Loving Each Other. That's not really positive. Oh, the other book I'm going to bring is called Psycho-Cybernetics. I don't have it here, but it'll be coming as well. It'll be coming with us. But it's these fundamental elements that we know about how to thrive. So anyway, I'm taking that. Is that crazy? This old raggedy book that has all these highlights in it. I think I discovered this book in elementary school or something. I thought it was so sweet. Anyway, so positive psychology, adaptive leadership, self-directed learning, and then there's a book called Growth Mindset and Action. Carol Dweck wrote a book called Growth Mindset, which was great. But I was in the middle of Microsoft, and they were talking about growth mindset, but they sure wasn't putting it into action. So growth mindset is nice, but it has to be growth mindset in action. So hopefully they're ready now, because again, the director of diversity said to me when I was talking about the trauma that was occurring right there in the corporate space and how she could be a part of it. The quote was, and I say this lovingly, not like in an accusational way, "Thank you for not being ready. You allowed me to go get myself better prepared. And now hopefully we're all ready." Yay. But because I am, and whether it's them or not, I don't care who comes. This is not about a particular company. This is about any given leader in any organization who wants to literally lead change. We're going to show you how. So this is how to lead with purpose. Okay. So I'll keep moving. So I was just sharing a few of the things I have here that I was so excited about. So this is let me finish this. Pray for me, y'all. So I'm going back to page 90 in this book, because again, I want nobody to go get this book. You can order it online. Harvard Business Review special issue, that you can buy the special issues from Harvard, How to Lead with Purpose. And this was from spring of 2020, y'all. But I love that it has a playbook of turning ambition into impact. Whether you get it or not, I'm going to make sure you have it, because we're going to be taking photos and zooming in and all that stuff. So don't worry. Don't worry. So anyway, I'm going to finish this tiny, this is one little page I haven't gotten through because it was so impactful. Purpose to impact planning. So we're taking my purpose and turning it into impact planning. Like, how do you really activate people? So back to the timeline. So I told you my timeline. Oh, so once we activate, sorry. So I went through the timeline: 8/28, 9/28, October, November, December, and then January and February. February, we're officially launching the bigger, broader, every company, whoever you are, it's Black History Month. Let's go. And again, it's not even about Black history. It's not about Black. This is about white. This is about Black. Listen, I'm one of the few people who will say with my heart, people say Black Lives Matter, all lives matter. I do believe Black Lives Matter, but I also believe all lives matter. But people who don't agree with that Black Lives Matter don't understand the lived experience. Laws were put in place to say that we didn't matter. And they're just saying, hey, me too. You've heard the thing about the houses on fire? So Black Lives Matter is just the concept of, you know, you're in a neighborhood. If one house is on fire, that house just needs a little bit more water than the ones that aren't on fire, right? So just that's, but again, I do believe all lives matter. I believe white lives matter. I got no problem with none of that. It's the loving each other. If you can believe one, then you can believe them all. Okay, I'm moving on. So that's my heart. Okay, so I'm moving on, and I catch crap from people all over. So none of it sticks, people. So I'm too Black for some and not Black enough for others. So I'm just me. I'm just me. I'm giving you what I got, and you do your part, and let me do my part. Okay. So back to this list, which is really a short list, but I'm filling in the gaps. So this is how to start a movement, people. Okay, I will talk slower in the daytime when I have people around me. I'm just like, it's 3 o'clock in the morning, and I haven't packed yet for a trip. So bear with me. Okay. So number I was on this one. I was talking about setting these incremental goals, and I just told you what my goals are. By February, we should have at least 1,000. I think it should be 100,000. I think it should be 1 million people across this country who are activated. That would be my goal. 1 million minds. Okay, 1 million minds ready to truly transform. I'm going to manage the first 100, and then I'm going to manage the first 1,000 leaders. But I expect 1 million minds associated with this work because, again, I'm leaving you everything you need. You can start your own movement in your own backyard with your family, with your Girl Scout troop, with your kickball team, with your softball team. Everybody's going to have what they need to thrive. And college students, wherever you are, whatever your discipline is, you can live your best life. This is like the instruction for the mind. That's what positive intelligence is. Okay. Bear with me. I'm going to slow down later, but right now I'm just trying to get through this. So bear with me. Okay. So I was at this number. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 elements, very short, on how to move from purpose to impact planning. So when you play this, you might need to play it at minus. You know how you can speed a book up? My book, you got to slow down. We're doing a video series as well. You got to slow my book down. I'll redo this later, but I had to get it out right now. Okay. So we just said you're going to set incremental. Again, it's not very bright, so I got to do what I can do. Set incremental. Come on, y'all. Okay. Incremental goals related to living your leadership purpose. Set incremental goals related to living your leadership purpose. That's what I'm doing right now. The next one says focuses on the future, working backwards. I call that start with the end in mind. So that's why I'm talking about and calling this the mountaintop experience. So I know what success looks like. I do. So I'm focusing on the future. So I don't want anyone like my nieces. This is the other reason why I have some urgency around this right now, and why going to the conference, doing this at the conference is so perfect. So I'm gonna flip back to the front of the books. I got a little soliloquy to share. Um, So it says focuses on the future, right? And then works backwards. So that's basically saying start with the end in mind, right? Stephen Covey, start with the end in mind, y'all. So what I'm saying is we know what success looks like. I know what we don't want to have happen, and this is how you prevent it. I know what we do want to have happen, and this is how you get there. This is what I'm saying is a mountaintop experience. I have a niece, Michaela Jernigan. I have another niece, Dasha Harrell. I have another niece, Christina Harrell. And these beautiful women, I have a nephew, his name is E.W. Grant. Um, and these are people that I don't have children. So the best I can do is leave a world better for them. Not only leave it better for them, but leave a roadmap for them and leave a roadmap for the people that they're going to encounter in the business world. I'm telling my niece, Michaela Grant, she's who, by the way, had some negative experiences like we all have had in corporate America, whether you're Black, white, male, or female. We all want to feel included. We all want to feel like we were treated fairly. And when that doesn't happen, most times in the current system, the way it exists, there's no real pathway to resolve with clarity in community. Now there is. Positive intelligence creates very clear conflict management, relationship management, leadership management, wellness, mindset, all the performance management, right? All the things, trust building, all the things. So there's very clear roadmap. Nobody can say, I didn't know what to do. What happened? Hello. I'm saying it is only safe to work with companies who are establishing a new normal in their organization called positive intelligence. Hear me. That's what I'm saying. That's pretty radical, but I'm saying you're not safe. You can do your own thing similar, but if you ain't doing this thing, which has all the clarity. Oh, by the way, the owner of the book or the author of the book, do I have positive intelligence? I have it. I'm taking it. I don't know where it is around me. Okay, but his name is Shermeen. Um, anyway, let me move on because I'm getting distracted now. Back to the list. You positive intelligence. Go find the book. I'm going to page 90. Okay. So, future focus, y'all, meaning we know what success looks like. We know we want to create inclusive cultures where everyone can thrive. White, black, blue, red, green, purple, everybody, male, female, with disabilities, which I have my own disability, which is my superpower and ability, but I'll keep moving. Okay. So, back to the thing. Focuses on the future, right? Let's see if I can see that working backwards. These people are telling you what I already know, but they laid it out so quickly and clearly. That's what I need. So my plan needs to be clear too. Next, it says oh, it is unique to you. This purpose to impact planning is unique to you, y'all. This is very unique to me. It's about my lived experience as well. So if someone else could do the same thing, that's why I want to give you every element that I have. So you can go off and do this for yourself. Go off and do this for your, life vision, right? But it's unique to you, right? It addresses who you are. Isn't that beautiful? As a leader, I lead with love. This is very unique to me. Positive intelligence is not unique to me, but I have a proprietary methodology that's called transformational inclusive leadership. And that too is about a mountaintop experience. It's called transformational inclusive leadership. It is how to lead with purpose. It is about building your team. It's about building and activating your mission. It's about creating not only greater social value, but it's about truly living the life that God set up for you. So that's my work. It's this is a playbook for turning ambition into impact. Mine is a playbook as well, but I'll stay focused. But it's called transformational inclusive leadership. So the work that I'm leading right now is called Living Powerfully with positive intelligence as the foundation and transformational inclusive leadership as the next step. Okay, so I'll move on. So purpose to impact planning. I love this so much. So this work is unique to me. So it's okay to talk about my story too and my journey. And somewhere I will talk about my 3 books, which are, and I'm taking them so Miss Catherine can read them and Bernard and anyone else, I'll share them. It's just one story out of a compilation book. One called Ignite Happiness, Ignite Your Inner Spirit, and Ignite Possibilities. I call that my origin story. So it'll be part of this story as well. This is like a book that we're gonna write probably in 2 weeks. That's what I'm gonna do. Like I'm targeting that. So then this book will be ready out by the end of the year. But it's gonna be called How to Start a Movement, right? The Better Together Empowerment Series and Living Powerfully. I'm gonna encapsulate all these little elements. I'm gonna get it out. There you go. You just heard it here. That was another inspiration. It was not my plan, but that has to be the case. Okay. So is unique to you, unique to me, right? Addresses who I am and who you are as a leader. And then this is the last point under this purpose to impact planning, which is part of this whole thing about how to find your purpose. What is this? Anyway, let me stay focused. So the last thing says, takes a holistic view of work and family. Lord, don't you love that? Takes a holistic view of work and family. So I think right now my phone is in the wrong area, but maybe that's good. This is the list I've just been reading through for the last 40 minutes, 45 minutes. Just focused on how to start a movement, people. This is how we're going to do it. Isn't that odd and awesome at the same time? Yeah, we'll make it clearer later. This 3 a.m. I just didn't want to, not get this out. Now let me figure out how to turn my thing around. I don't know what just happened, but okay, there we go. Anyway. I think maybe this is the problem. Maybe I should have been doing this way all along, but I'll just stay focused. Okay, so I'm moving on. So I just wanted to clarify. Here's one of the things that we're taking with us is a Harvard Business Review, but I also have this in my lap because it's called the Toy Box. Now I worked for Disney for 14 years, and one of the teams that I led was the training team. I also was part of several cool, amazing projects. So I'm just going to share this one. So what I'm going to be providing as a part of this work, and maybe I should turn this around. I'm not going to go into this much, but it's going to be a toolbox, a toy box, and a joy box, right? So it's had 3 elements to it. So that's all. There's a lot more here. Oh, I'm bringing my Emerge Genetics profile for anyone who wants to know who I am and why is this crazy lady actually doing this in this way. So hold, please. Why is she going to do all this stuff live? Wait, let me show you why. This is my Emergenetics report and narrative. Right. And so what it says about me, this is what it says about me. When it comes to expressiveness, assertiveness, and flexibility, I am 93 percentile. That's the end of the scale. I'm 93%. So if you look at the entire population of human beings, my expressiveness, my ability to show up and start talking, to get energy from conversation is at a 93%. My assertiveness, which means my ability to show up and be courageous, is 76%. And my flexibility is 82%, which means I'm always going to have a plan, but I'm also flexible, right? I'm flexible. I could go more into this, but that's really all I really want to share out of this one. There's more. Miss Catherine, get ready. And anyone else, right? So you all should know yourself. To thine own self be true is another part of this. So I'm just packing this, and I wanted to pack it with purpose. So I wanted y'all to be able to see what was here. I'm not gonna go do much more of this, but I'm gonna talk about the toy. No, I'm not talking about toy box today. It's too much going on. Okay, so I just wanted you to know that we're gonna have our own toy box. This is from Disney. This is how they talked about change. So I do want to clarify. Let me just go to the front real quick. I do want to, no, actually, it's this page right here. So this contents of this, I use this one. It was about how the 5 stages of innovation, and this is what they called it, right? This was innovation the Disney way is what they call it. Maybe I should turn this way. Conversation. I guess I got to keep it this way for now. Okay, but anyway, this is innovating the Disney way. And they call it the 5 stages of innovation. Mine aren't quite the same, but there's a lot of elements that I think are really important. So having a vision, explore, leap, stretch, ignite, and innovation is the result. Isn't that cool? Okay, more to come. I'm gonna put these things back. This was a book that I got, a document that I got. It was called Transforming the Educational Experience of Young Men of Color. And the reason I thought this was pretty powerful, and look at that. There's just some good stuff in it. That's all I wanted to say. I'm gonna move this back. There's other stuff in here, but again, my goal was to let you know that I have found a bunch of stuff, and I told my co-conspirators, "Oh my God, I found some good stuff." This was one of them, and then I started putting in there. Everything just got so organized and so ready. And then the question is, but I said, but I'm looking for the online version. Well, guess what? There ain't no online version of some of this stuff. So we just gonna do the work. We're gonna have some hard copies. I'm gonna ship this just on, and then we're gonna change the world. Hello, it's okay. You gotta believe that it's okay. That you're allowed to be special. By special, I mean weird, thinking outside of the box, doing stuff that regular people would think is odd. That's what leading with purpose is all about. I'm just saying. That's what leading with purpose is about. Right, finding your purpose and walking in it fully, people. So that's what we're about to do. This is just one of the things. I'm gonna stick this back in here, even though that was over there. Okay. So this was one of the things I'm taking with me. There's more little elements in here. So I just bought this backpack when I was ordering some. So we're gonna go as media to the Black and Media Conference and to the Congressional Black Caucus conference. So so here, so I'm gonna take this stack of books. One of them is called, like I said, Self-Directed Learning. The other one is called A Course in Weight Loss. Let me tell you why I'm bringing that, because part of the burden that we suffer when we have these negative experiences, because we're not allowed to feel the feelings, we oftentimes stuff the feelings, and then we're overweight, right? And we're wondering why. The survival. So this is like 21 spiritual lessons for surrendering your weight forever. But it's really about surrendering anything. This is from Marianne Williamson. Y'all remember Marianne? She ran for president. I didn't think she would have been a great president, but I was so glad that she had a profile, to be able to, a higher profile for the work that she does, because this right here is pretty amazing. So for anyone who has had some challenges. It's really, really has some really good elements. So I'm going to bring those elements out as well. And then this book I really love a lot as well. It's one of the ones, these are hardbacks, y'all. So yes, I'm taking hardbacks with me on a trip. I do have issues. It's okay. So this book is called Presence, and by Amy Gutty. I think that's how it's pronounced. The name. It's dark and I can barely read it. It's called Bringing Your Boldest Self. Sorry, bringing your boldest self to your biggest challenges. And the reason I love that, these are some of the power poses, right? But what I'm inviting people to do, it's going to require you to bring your boldest self to your most difficult challenges. So there's some elements in here that really are going to be about breathing, which is part of positive intelligence. What I love about positive intelligence is there's a lot of calming, there's a lot of, centering. There's a lot of work that is around centering, but sometimes you need to be activated. That's what presence is about. So, okay, I'm gonna keep going. This book really is one of my favorites, y'all. Actually, I'm gonna let Michelle take it and give it to my niece when she leaves. But it's called The Psychology Book. Big Ideas, Simply Explained. There was so much in this that I couldn't not bring in. This is one of the statements. You cannot understand a system until you try to change it. You really actually try to change it. This says the collective unconscious is made of archetypes. It is important to understand archetypes. So that's why this positive intelligence, it starts with some of our saboteurs, and they've created archetypes for them, just so you can simply understand what they are and recognize them and then change them. It says a man with conviction is a hard man to change. When you know where you're going, this is the direction you're going. It's a hard act to follow, y'all. A hard act to follow. It's interesting. I don't know what this statement means, but I can't wait to see. Insight may cause blindness. I think it will set you free, but we shall see. It goes on to say we can listen to only one voice at once. The unconscious. See if I can look that. This is the unconscious is the truest physical reality. And this says there's more to the surface than meets the eye. Okay, there's more. When you go inside of this book, I can flip to any page, and every time I open it up, I'm like, oh my God, that is so good. And I like how they clearly lay things out. So I'm not going to go to this now, but the unconscious is what it says, and we know this to be true. This is really what my belief work is about as a transformational coach. So when you think about, I just want to bring some of the elements here, but this simply is this. I just opened the book to a page. Every page has something that I want to bring out. So there'll be a whole chapter about this book as well. But it says the unconscious determines behavior. That's all you got to know. And then that means you got to work on your beliefs and your unconscious behavior in order to really drive change. So anyway, love this book as well. It's going. So here you go. My next stack of books. I love this book so much. It's called Leading Gracefully. It's and it's a woman's guide to confident, authentic, and effective leadership. And it's not just information for women though, but if I open this book, the same thing happens. There's something, there's just some great content in here. So I'll be summarizing this as one of the things as well. Like I said, this is the new best-selling book. So I'm gonna take some elements from each of these books, package it together, and tell y'all this is what you need to go do. You don't need all the books. You just need to know. Just need to have some tools to go live your best life, and you'll know it when you see it. You'll know what your best life looks like. But this chapter was called Care. This applies to everyone. Prioritize self-care and embrace your innate gift. You see what I'm saying? This is for everybody. I love it so much. Okay, there's lots and lots of stuff in this one as well. Y'all, I'm packing my this thing here. Okay. So what happened is I pulled out some books and was going to decide which ones I take as I go on this journey, and it just so happens all the ones I wanted to take actually fit. So I'm excited about that. This book y'all are gonna love. Check this out. It's called Confessions from Your Token Black Colleague. I met this lady at an event. It was one of the participatory budgeting events. Her name is, hold please, to Lisa Lavery. Laboring. Hey, Tally, expect me to bring you in and interview you and talk about this book. It's some really good stuff too. I'll just open up to one page. Uh, this is a question: will I ever be good enough? um, the the CEO assured me that he had my back. And the reason this is so good is because people don't understand sometimes like our story. And so I love the idea of actually being able to, provide some clarity on their story through a story that many of us have lived. Anyway, when someone says they have your back and then they don't, there's a trust issue. And Stephen Covey speaks of trust, right? Trust is important. I'll bring that book in too, even though I don't think I laid my hands on it this morning. Okay, so here are my 3 books, and I'm going to bring these only because there's a story inside of each. It's my origin stories, right? So the first book was called Ignite Happiness. The second book was called Ignite Your Inner Spirit. The third book was called Ignite Possibilities. This has been through a first and a second edition. The second edition of this book, Ignite Possibilities, you can get all of these on Amazon. Actually, the first and the second, but it's beautiful, and my name is on the cover of that one. Somehow in this book it wasn't, but Miss J.B. Owen was able to reconcile that in her mind by adding me to the next one. Yay. So anyway, Ignite Happiness, and Natural Inner Spirit, and Ignite Possibilities. Super excited about these 3 going as well, right? They're also very powerful. So am I packing a piece of luggage that is going to weigh way more than it needs to? That's exactly what's happening here. So I'll put this hard copy book in right front. So there's this one. And I literally packed the book and then I decided to unpack it to do this video. Mm-hmm. So this is how to start a movement. I mentioned this dude right here, right? I mentioned Leo Buscaglia. Loving each other. The challenge of human relationships. Again, any of these books I'll open up to any page and it's going to be something wonderful. Wait. I'll just find like a headline because it's dark. Oh, here you go. This one is called, this page right here is this chapter 8, Loving Each Other, some solicited advice. So I think this is funny. This actually says, never give advice. Never give advice. The ignorant won't hear it, won't heed it, and the wise don't need it. That's funny. Okay, let me go. He's super sweet. So here's some of the other things that he talks about. He, meaning Leo Buscaglia, this book is called Loving Each Other. And, when you do leadership that's around a topic like race, for me, what makes me uniquely different is that we have to lead with love. That has to be our first space. And this isn't for Christians, but boy, you Christians are my target audience, right? But it's also anyone who believes in science, like the mindset, neuroscience of the brain. But when your heart is pure and open, there's some higher power, whoever, whatever, it actually just creates an easier path for you to choose to do the right thing in the moment when that tug happens to your heart. So this says grow up together constantly. So meaning be on a journey together. Don't think in terms of forever. Think of now, and forever will take care of itself. That's what positive intelligence is about. They say that all suffering, Shamim Shazad, all suffering happens either in the past or in the future, but there's zero suffering in the present. So they're all saying the same thing. That's what I think is so powerful about this. I'll read 2 more things. It says, expect to invest a great deal of time and energy in your relationships. Lasting relationships don't just happen. They are created. You love that? And then over here it says, take your time. I love this one too, and then I'll move on to another book. It says recognize that all relationships cannot be forever. Recognize their temporary quality, but continue to act as if they are permanent. I love that. Okay. Leo Buscaglia. Thank you, Leo. Join the party. Okay, I'm gonna put this up top. Okay, and then I mentioned this book already. It's called Adaptive Leadership. The Practice of Adaptive Leadership. Let me just stay focused. Nope. Okay, let me just stay focused. This is the one I was talking about, y'all. This is the book of books. If you get one book before the next 6 weeks is out, go order this book, Positive Intelligence by Shirzad Chamine, my new favorite author ever. And he didn't just write a book, he's actually doing the work. It says why only 20% of teams and individuals achieve their true performance. Do you want to achieve your true performance? We got a pathway for you, honey. Nobody will ever be able to say, hello, after today, that I didn't know how. Go read this book. Go read this book. Go read this book. There's some free processes that are in place. Go read the book, Positive Intelligence. Okay. Y'all, like I said, spirit is not required, but, there's something, lovely. Some elements that could be valuable for people. And this one I love. It was a book by Deepak Chopra. There's elements of each of the books. So I don't agree with everything in every book, but Deepak has some really insightful elements. Check this out. Oh, I can't read it. It's too small. But anyway, that's another book. I'll move on. This is Debrina Jackson Gandy. It's a book called All the Joy You Can Stand. It is 101 Sacred Power Principles for Making Joy Real in Your Life. Making joy real in your life. And that is by Miss Debrina Jackson Gandy, y'all. Debrina Jackson Gandy. The book is called All the Joy You Can Stand. Sorry, it's dark in here. I will come back to all of these because I'm taking them with us. So it's okay that you can't read it deeply in this moment. I'm packing this bag, though. I bet it's going in this box. Okay. Okay, here's a few more. This is the book I was telling you about already. It's called Elephant in the Room by Philip Jacobs. Okay, I'm putting this in here. Turn it around. Yes, we're packing a bag, but this is how to start a movement. You just do your thing. Don't be worried about what somebody else is gonna think. You do you. Live your best life. And that's what I'm doing right now. I love this. These two books were this book right here. This was recommended to me first it was by a lady, her name is Kim Smith. She was my first executive coach who really helped me to see how people experience me. That was her language. I didn't quite understand it, but once those words kind of set in, it was like, oh, okay. And John M. Perkins is a Black man that I met at an event at a university. Doesn't really matter. I'll tell you some more. I got several of his books, but this is by Wayne Gordon and John M. Perkins. I look forward to following and finding you again, John. But Making Neighborhoods Whole, a handbook for Christian community development, y'all. I'm tapping into my spiritual best, and this is one of those books that's going to help us, Lord. It's some of those laying out a framework on what we can do to drive change. Okay, this is interesting because I told Miss Catherine that I found something. So these are some cards that I use. I was in a pitch competition. My company is called It's All Bigger Than Me. And I started It's All Bigger Than Me Ministry. And I started It's All Bigger Than Me Consulting. And it started actually at the National Black MBA. We had done a think tank. And anyway, I'll do this another time. It's too much. Okay. This I love. So there's someone, I got to give this book back to my friend. I took it accidentally. I was at her house and I went on a trip. It's from Dr. Truth. I'll do an interview with her. She'll tell us what she likes best about this book. But there's some elements in there that I thought were very, very intriguing. Okay, maybe this goes up here. I don't know. Anyway, this is so good. If you don't have this book, you need to go get it. It's called Inside Out. Inside Out by Caprice Hollins. She actually goes to my church, and it's called Undoing Institutional Racism, an Equity Leader's Guide to Undoing Institutional Racism. This book, I'm going to take a moment to flip through a couple of little elements. Like I said, it doesn't matter. Some of my favorite books, it doesn't matter what page you land on. But this is about gaining skills to invest and effectively engage across cultures, across all cultures. She has so many good elements in here, I can't even tell you. I'm just looking for a new chapter header. Okay, I'm gonna stop here, but it says see yourself as part of the work, right? And I love this. Know your why. I'm asking people to commit to continuing MLK's dream, but you have to know your why. Yes, I will do this again in the daylight. So my apologies. But what is your why for racial justice? All right. But just know your why. Commitment to change. Oh, sorry. It says commitment to change and be changed. So commit to change and be changed. Don't you love that? There's so much good stuff. It's such a good book. Inside Out, Lord. Inside Out, Caprice Collins. Love it. Okay. Last two books, I think. I hope. No, one more. One more, but I'll do these two. This is from Bernard, our president of the Seattle chapter. One of these, I don't remember which one. I think it's this one right here, Beyond Change Management. This is his Bible. It's Beyond Change Management, and it says how to achieve breakthrough results through conscious change leadership. Beyond Change Management, how to achieve breakthrough results. That's by Dean Anderson and Linda Eckerman Anderson. Beyond Change Management. Go get this book, please. Go get this book. Go get it. Positive Intelligence is the first one you should get. This one right here, if you're trying to do some big things, is second. If you know, no, actually, I think I would get Inside Out, and then I get this one. We're gonna pull some elements out of each, and then this was the newer edition. It was called the Change Leaders Roadmap, and I love a good one. How to navigate your organization's transformation. If you're the one who is trying to drive change and you've been running into some roadblocks, which clearly systems are designed to maintain the status quo. So if you think you're trying to change some things, you need us and you don't even know it. Systems, by definition, let me just say it again slower. Systems are designed to maintain the status quo. So if you think you don't need us, you need us even more than you think. Yep, that's true. I think I'm getting this backpack properly. Yes, it's ridiculous. I'm taking this whole thing on a trip, and I might put in a bigger piece of luggage. I'm not really sure how this is gonna work out, but I might have to read. It was better packed before I unpacked it to tell y'all this story. And then this book. This is the last, but not the least. I hate the cover. I hate the cover, but I love the book and I love the people. It's called Black Writers Unmasked, and it's a compilation book by the um, by AWA, the African American Writers Alliance. Again, it's too dark to really see that. I'll come back to this book in the daylight. I promise. I promise. My little book is in here. Is this one of my favorite people? Oh, look at Miss Helen Collier. Oh, she is bad. Miss Helen is like a Black Panther lady on steroids. Every time I see her, she got her shades on, her hat on, and she changes some things. Oh, look at one of my other favorite people, Miss Noni Irvin. She does some work around Kwanzaa, but really Kwanzaa every day. And my story, I think, is after hers. It's on page 58, if I remember correctly. Maybe not, but it's somewhere here. There I am. Okay. So I am on page 53, it looks like. Yes, I'm still in the dark, y'all. It was the option of do this now or don't do it at all. So I decided to do it now. Bias for action. It's okay. So I'm just gonna read my title of my book. So this is me, and this is the title of my story in this book, and it's called Transformational Inclusive Leadership with Mind, Heart, and Soul. Mind, Heart, and Soul. It's the Bigger Than Me Success Series. This has gone by so many names. The Bigger Than Me Success Series is now the Better Together Empowerment Series. So I'm super excited about that. I did provide a little bit more of the call to action in that book as well. So y'all, believe it or not, I'm about to get on the plane. I haven't packed. I got laundry to do, which is why I'm like, let me do this anyway. So I may have to slightly repackage this. I may have to say it closed so much better. I promise you. This is not closing now. But it did close so much better the first time I packed it. So I'll go back. But at least I did what I wanted to do. And yes, I'm taking this book as well. We're going to the National Black MBA Association Conference. Yes, we are. Celebrating Legacy and Empowering the Future. This book was written by several co-authors. Again, I'm not going to go through this in the dark, but just know it's so beautiful. We will be taking you through it in the future, sooner than later. But I'm excited to be, celebrating a legacy. Not only the legacy of the National Black MBA, but the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. So my mission and my vision and this movement, y'all, right, It's called Committed to Continuing MLK's Dream. Not any dream. At first, it was committed to continue the dream. But he's like, which dream? Let me be very clear. MLK's dream, because we all have a dream. The founder of the Ku Klux Klan had a dream. We just weren't part of it, right? So this is committed to continuing MLK's dream, right? The dream of economic empowerment, social justice, that we can all live joyfully with each other and for each other. And it's not about being Black, because this is for everyone. Positive intelligence, which again, let me just dig that book out. If you don't get but one book out of all of this is the one you need to go get right here, okay? Go get this book. Positive intelligence, the work that we do to lead this work is going to be based on positive intelligence. This will equip you to do the work. It is by Shirzad Chamine. Positive Intelligence. It was a New York Times bestseller. Now it is a movement. Over 1 million people have done this. He works with CEOs and leaders and executives. Positive Intelligence, people, go get this book, because we are about to change the world. Yes. And a little bit of all of these books are going to be in my next bestseller, a book that I'm giving away, by the way. Let me be clear. I'm going to write the book. I'm gonna put all this stuff in. I'm gonna be showing it. I'm gonna be doing video documentaries, so it's just out there in the universe for free, for free, for free, for free, for free, for free. Because I'm just trying to equip people to change the world. So each of these books have some nuggets. I will highlight some nuggets. I will do it in video form, and I will say, now go. Something is gonna spark you to go do your thing. And this book right here, I can promise you, this is about mindset. And I'm gonna stop talking right now, because I can go into this and I'll get all into it. So go get the book. Start today. Go order this book, and then join me on the journey throughout the next 2 weeks, or the next 2 months, throughout the next 2 years, whatever it looks like, 2 decades. I'm about to change some things for good. This is Dr. Tracy Harrell, and I say, take a PQ moment and breathe. See, I stopped my packing so I could do that. Because none of us are promised tomorrow, right? So everything I do is going to be live, it's going to be in person, it's going to be for everyone. Positive intelligence is about living your best life. Positive intelligence is truly about higher performance, greater wellness, conflict management, relationship management, performance enhancement. Let me just explain what I mean by that. Anything. If you're an athlete, if you're a musician, it's really the power of the mind. We know that our brains can either be for us or against us, can be working for us or working against us. We can use the left side of our brain and be in survival mode. Those negative feelings of anxiety when they come up, or stress, or anything that's negative, right? That's on the left side of the brain. So we want to minimize those saboteurs and amplify the right side of the brain. So positive intelligence provides a framework for that, and more and more and more. It's everything. It's all the things, y'all. It's a roadmap. This right here, because I'm gonna drop the mic on this one. This is how to start a movement. Activate yourself, fuel yourself, get that true manual for the brain. It's positive intelligence. I love it, y'all. More to come. Beautiful day.